another episode of High Tea with Shawty, and extreme apologies that I have not been consistently putting out videos. It's just been a very crazy end of the year, and I'm also gonna get into all about it. But as you can see the title of the video, this episode is actually more about reflection on how the year was and all the ups and downs and the challenges and my favorite artworks and all the new things and cool things that I got to do this year. And I would love to share it with you guys because I would not have been here or had the push or the motivation to actually start my own YouTube thing if it weren't for you guys and the immense love and the support that I get from each one of you. I know my numbers are not that big yet, but I love this tiny community that I have and it means a lot to me. So anyways, before I bore you guys, heads up, this is going to be a little bit long video because there's so much I want to share with you guys, and I have actually written a list of things I want to talk about, as you can see. So it's going to be a long video and I hope you guys enjoy it. So firstly, I would want to talk about how the year for me professionally has been. It's been very crazy and hectic, and I can't believe that I got to do so many different kind of things in 1 year. So honestly, the year didn't really start out that great for me personally because I was jobless. I had applied to a lot of places I could not get into, and I really wanted to get into the sector of teaching and education, and something or the other, there was just few kind of hurdles till the end minute, and I finally got a confirmation key. Yeah, you have bagged a job and everything. It was in the middle of Feb, so yeah, the starting was a bit hectic, but I started off with traveling, of course. So I think which kind of stayed consistent throughout the year because I kept on traveling and I got to explore new places. But work-wise, instead of getting into bad part, I want to talk about the accomplishments and things that I actually kind of achieved. Was from first obviously getting a job into teaching because that I've been wanting to do for a really long time, and I'm really grateful I got the opportunity to teach the young minds and sit with them, talk to them, and finally do what I really wanted to and passionate about. So that, and because of which I'd already started my YouTube, but I never really thought that this is something I want to make into large scale. So with the right kind of mindset, and of course my friends do play a really important part in pushing me to that direction, especially my best friend, and he's the one who pushed me to structure my entire YouTube and everything. And yeah, kudos to him for pushing me to do this, and that's something I really grateful for because this has become a platform where I actually can talk about all my struggles, all the low parts. And now that I look back into my High Tea with Shawty, there have been a lot of struggles that I spoke about, but I hope it was not too depressing because yeah, when you're starting out as an individual, there are a lot of hiccups, and I have faced my fair share of hiccups, and I'm sure there are going to be more and more hiccups as I go through down the lane because no journey is smooth, right? So yeah, more hiccups to go. Then I got to even like experiment with my own art style to another level. I didn't pay a lot of attention to my title series this year, but I did work on those a lot because, and the title series that I was actually creating this year were very personal to me because if you go back and look at my artworks, each one of them have a special meaning to it and a reason why I illustrated it or what inspired me. I usually put that in my caption. If you missed it, you can go check it out. And even with my floral series, which I actually kind of put a halt to last year, but there was just this moment where the idea of floral series was that I started with these are the kind of quotes or the words or the motivational inspiration lines that I wish someone had told me, and that's how these floral illustrations turned out, and which obviously turned into a huge merchandising also for me, which I'll talk about in the end. And So yeah, that's how my floral series went. And coming to my 36 days of time, it was amazing. I loved it, and the response I got was immensely positive, and it was really fun creating it. Like each alphabet and each letter and number were inspired by colors or a certain type of flowers and different color palettes, moods. So my main one theme was to go the route of nature, keeping flowers and woods and nature in mind, and that's how I intertwined 36 Days of Time, Alphabet series, and that challenge into this because I love nature, as all of you can know by now. So yeah, then recently I also struggled with 2.5 months of creative block, which was extremely negative for me, which was the root reason Haiti with Shawty came into life. So I think even creative blocks are really helpful at some point in your life. It's not always very motivating, obviously, to feel that lost and hopeless about yourself and doubting every single decision that you make in life. That is not good. But yes, it definitely gave birth to something very nice and helpful, not just for me but also some of you out there. And I hope I continue to do that in less creative blogs next year, maybe. So yes, so creative blogs are also part of life, and that itself gave birth to Haiti with Shorty, as well as the series that I started. This was supposed to be a personal thing. This is an ongoing challenge that I'm doing on my Insta account. We can check it out. It's called Quick Study Illustrations. I also am making a YouTube playlist on it where I show the process of each photograph illustrations. So the inspiration behind this was I was not able to brainstorm a lot because I was in a constant rut. I think also because I was dealing with a lot of client work, because of which gave me less work for myself to ideate and work, because all my ideation energy and the enthusiasm was going into the client work. So yeah, I then decided why not I study photographs and maybe like try to study the technique of it and maybe do something on my own. So it started as fun, which kept me going, and one thing led to another. I decided that I'm going to do 102 illustrations, uh, but I am halfway there. I think more than halfway there. I am like 62 done now, and I might just call it an end at that because I don't want to push myself and get bored of it, obviously. So I think that's what I'm gonna do, and let's just see how it goes because I'm quite enjoying that illustrations and everything. It's extremely fun, and the colors, oh my god, I just don't want to spoil it. You guys can like stay tuned to my Instagram and check it out. Every day I'm trying to put at least one illustration and the photo reference. In fact, a lot of my followers and my art community sent me their photographs for me to illustrate because they kept asking. So yeah, it's a really fun bunch of things that I have done over there. That was really fun. So, and this was just all about my personal work, and I also got to face a lot of challenges this year because this year started out rough, as I know, and now you know, not just mentally but physically as well, because for the first 6 months of the year, very honestly, I was still questioning myself and trying to figure out where do I belong and my existence in general. I think we all go through at that phase when we're switching jobs, but I never second guessed my current job. It was me second guessing and other people around me making me question myself and my choices, because they're like, are you sure you left corporate for this, that? And this is something I talk a lot about because other people have started to project their so-called dreams on other people and think what's right for them should be also right for the other person, which is not true, right? We all are living through our own journey, and I think we all should be allowed to make our own decisions and not be judged for it or made feel bad about it because it's not good. And I think I let those doubts get into me, which was not right, of course, but now I'm like, your opinion don't matter, which they should never matter. So yeah, it was the first 6 months were all about finding myself and actually getting comfortable with the choices that I make, and the last 6 months have been just immense hard work, immense motivation, and the strength, and it just gives me goosebumps that I was able to achieve so much. And a huge reason that I was able to achieve also is because of my best friend, who constantly pushed me and gave me a direction on how to go about it. I, of course, struggled a lot with developing my website that I have now and all that followed by it. But in it's just not that like website was an issue, but it was also about losing work and losing opportunities, because I did have to make really tough decisions in this past 1 year, where I had to decide to either choose between this, my current job, or some 7-figure high paying job. But something that always kept me grounded was like, if I give up this, is what that makes me so happy, right? It's not always about the money that you're bagging, but it's about, are you waking up happy every day, or versus this, it's a very high paying job but no personal life whatsoever. It's for me personally, everyone's different, but this is my personal way I look at things, because I've been there. And one thing I've realized with these kind of high paying jobs and very fast working corporate environments is that in order to please your client and to please what your bosses want, sometimes in that process you end up losing your own voice and your creativity, and that has hampered me so much, and it had happened with me, and that is something that I do not want to go through again. So I did definitely have to make a little tough choices, and there were these kind of choices that I didn't want to share with my family, and I had become that confident, which I really like, that changed and evolved over the years, that I gotten really comfortable with my choices and that I could say no to such offers and everything. And yeah, I'm happy that I got to do what I love and wake up every day and be excited to go to office, work, meet new people, and have new experiences. Next thing that I would like to talk about is all the clients that I got to work over this year. And so, as you know, that I am working in Whistling Woods, and the fun part is like I got to create their WWI logo for them, and I wanted to keep it on a theme of purples and greens, because whenever I enter my office or my college, that's the kind of vibe and energy I feel. So I wanted to stay close to that. And I also got to work with a few amazing clients like Sattvic Movement. If you saw my previous videos, I also made a work in progress tutorial on it, on how I approach their work and everything. So I was very grateful for that. I got to work on some amazing stories and modules that they cater to, and you should definitely check them out as well. You will get to see my work over there. And recently I was also working with Masaba Love Child, where I did a freelance work for them. I was just doing their social media and like website creatives and everything. So that was really fun working. So that's why I've been like super packed up and not been able to give you out more details. So I got to work with them, and during Diwali I was very fortunate enough and grateful enough to actually get the opportunity to work with Coca-Cola through Indiefolio, where I was selected among the 35 artists in India to create a beautiful illustration for them. So I chose with Kerala mural art style, because I think Indian folk art needs even more recognition than anything right now. It's become a little bit of a dying art, and it deserves the kind of recognition that every other art gets. So I think that's just my little part that I'm doing as an artist, or whatever I can do, because One thing I can tell you about next, I know I'm giving a spoiler right now, but I am going to be doing a lot of Indian folk art next year in my portfolio and everything, and the kind of products I want to launch with my merch, and I'm going to show you about all my new merch also by the end of this video, so stay tuned. So yeah, coming back to the clients I worked with, and I also kind of got recognized by Wacom and Wacom India, where they I did a collab with them, and their Instagram, if you have not checked it, you can check out my Insta, there is a link there. They asked me to create a work in progress video for my title series titled Slow Dancing in the Dark, which was inspired by Joji's song, and I love that artwork because it's very personal to me, and it's just very beautiful because of course it is inspired by Joji's song, and while listening to that song, that just kind of inspiration hit me. And the reason why I love that artwork a lot, because it's the first time I have done an indoor scene in my title series. If you have not noticed, it's the very first time I did an indoor scene. I usually avoid doing indoor scene, but this was just something which gave me the liberty to bring the outside. If you can see, there's a beautiful window with the dew of the rain, and it's pouring, and there's a little moonlight, and the couple is just dancing. It just gives me goosebumps even thinking about it. So yeah, and they're dancing and the song is just playing. So that was the kind of inspiration, and that's why this artwork is very special, because the color just came out like very pretty. So yeah, as you all know, or most of you who have been following me, I did a lot of diverse kind of work this year, where I got to do 36 days of type, which we already discussed, where I do and talk about different kind of alphabets into my nature series with different kind of treatment of colors that I wanted to give, because you see there's a lot of, there's summers, there's outdoors, there's rains, there is a city also in the letter K, and little M is intertwined with entire woods and everything. So I think that was an extremely huge challenge for me, which I really enjoyed. Then I of course started with my new ongoing series, which was a study series, which is the photograph one, and the title series that I kept doing here and there, and also my floral series, which now I would like to talk and share that because of having a website. I never thought I would want to have a website, but having a website, and I thought I want to legitimize my entire business, small business. But yes, like on Instagram I used to have my store where I used to like cater to my bookmarks, postcards and everything. So I recently launched with my very own sticker packs, if you can see. So we have 4 themes, and this is my favorite one, the badass theme. It's really like, this one's my favorite because it's really me. So yeah, I mean, I'm very excited for this, and I've taken my store down for a bit right now because I'm having a very huge launch very soon. It's going to be a very soft launch, but yeah, and where you can also get a lot of loose stickers also, in case if you want it for your gifting for your friends or something like that, like create or die creating and something like this. So I'll be having themes also like this. I'm launching with 2 more themes also. So yeah, so this was my very first. I've always imagined this series as stickers for myself, and the fact that I got to do this was just crazy good. But of course there was a lot of struggle for this also, because getting that right kind of a vendor or a printer is so difficult, especially in Mumbai itself, because you can't trust, because in the middle I had also catered to a lot of phone cover designs, but I was just brutally scammed by a lot of them. In fact, one of this guy I went to, because I was not able to get in contact with any good vendors, because whatever I was getting was very expensive and literally there was no profit. Where right now I'm not starting out for profit, of course, but it was too expensive that it didn't feel right to even, you know, quote, like it didn't make sense. So yeah, so there was this one guy where he went, and so I went with my best friend, and we were like, hey, I mean, you know how it goes, right? Obviously we didn't go like, hey, but the way that person spoke and made me feel about my artwork is very bad. He's like, oh, you just do fan art, yeah, acha, paise nahi kamane, we don't do this, that. And he was so freaking condescending and rude about it, and I thought like, oh my god, he's just like near my house and whatnot. And it was a very bad experience. I felt really bad because at that point I had gotten so desperate because I already had taken orders, which was my bad mistake, like a huge mistake, because I honestly thought I would not get any orders, and I did. And I was like, oh my god. And I was like, oh god, what do I do? But somewhere or the other, I was able to figure it out. There was this another vendor, it was a good one, very slow, but extremely rude, and to a point where I actually first time ever in my life, I wrote a Google review, and I was very disappointed. So I kind of stopped doing my phone covers. But yeah, if you know anyone or if you supply good printed phone covers, do get in touch with me. You can email me or you can just like DM me or something. I would love to collab and put my prints out there for phone covers. So yeah, I think that's the ups and downs that I have faced and best so far. And I also want to talk about my growth as an artist this year. And of course, as you know, with the entire story, that it's been a crazy year. There has been an immense amount of growth, not just mentally, but spiritually and physically and emotionally. I have learned a lot about myself and the kind of people I want to deal with and work with and let into my life. I have set a certain kind of boundaries, and of course this year has not just been about work, also it's all about health, because I had a lot of health complications this year, which was very traumatizing for me. And there was a lot of loss also, not just in terms of losing clients but also losing people, but it was also about gaining, and in gaining in terms of people and clients. And I'm very grateful for that, because I have made my best friends and my group with these bunch of crazy people that I know. And if you follow me on social media, you will know, because half the time they are on my stories, and I love them and I adore them. And they are so creative. Recently I took a Patna trip, was with three of them actually, and they have this amazing exterior entertainment, and it is so good. They had this beautiful event which was done in collaboration with the government and Care India in Bihar. So that was really amazing. And I have this really talented another friend who is an actor, he did a cameo in Gheraiya this year, which is crazy. It's so inspirational. And he's an actor, he's a voice actor, and he's the sweetest and the most purest soul in my life, and I love him. And my best friend Tanay, he's the reason I am so dedicatedly, I have these amazing equipments, is because of him, because he keeps surprising me, because he knows I'm too lazy to do something. So he makes sure that I have the best quality and everything. So huge thanks. And you must have heard Tanay's name before my video, because he's the one who's the co-founder and owner of Freak House Studios, whose collab I did was with the Halloween and the Dog, which was amazing. A lot of new collab, by the way, is going to be coming this year. And so yeah, this year has not just been about loss and bad moments, but it has also been about finding my new voice, finding my new family, my best friends, and enjoying and traveling with them, because I got to travel a lot this year, and I'm truly happy for that. And I just hope I get to travel twice more next year. So yeah, and also with my merch line, because now I have a full-fledged store online, which was not easy to get up, because creating a website is not easy. I never thought or pegged myself to be someone who's actually gonna sit and do UI and UX for websites, but it's so fun and it's actually kind of thrilling, which I really enjoy, which I'm very happy about. So yes, I'm going to be doing a new launch of my Tapsy store very soon. You can follow me on social media and stay tuned for the updates, of course, because we're gonna having a lot more products. I can give you a little bit hint of it, so you can expect, of course, various kind of stickers. We're gonna be having door stickers, phone for phones, your laptops and whatnot. And the new stuff what we are going to be having is pillow covers, sweatshirts and magnets and a lot more things. I don't want to spoil that now, but yeah, this is something that I look forward to doing. And there have been struggles this year, but I think honestly I can just remember the good parts that I had this year, and all the amazing memories that I got to share with my loved ones, and I loved it. And what you can expect in next year from me is going to be a lot more of me, because I'm going to try to be more active on my social media when it comes to my YouTube, put on daily updates. And I will be doing a video which is going to be a day in my life as a teacher, because a lot of you want to know what I do as a teacher, because yes, there's a lot we do, and I will feature some of my students also if they are willing to do it. But yeah, we'll just have a nice conversation with them and get to know their perspective as an art student, especially after how COVID and everything. I would love for you guys to understand the struggles and everything also, because not just the students' struggles, but also teachers and everyone around us. So yeah, and my goals for next year are very honestly to travel even more, because I really enjoy traveling. And when it comes to my traveling, I'm very private. I don't really put out so much out on social media, because those are just those moments where I love to share with my best friends, my family, my partner or whatever. So I like to keep those things very private, and you won't be seeing any vlogs for it obviously, but maybe on social media reel here or there. So yeah, travel more and probably go to Comic-Con next year in Mumbai or Bangalore, and have a full-fledged merchandising store where I get to help people and motivate them with my kind of illustrations. Because I think I'll show you one of my favorite illustration is this in my floral series, where every time I look at it, it just makes me feel good, because yeah, I think kind words and positive messages around us are really important. And yes, and the more I say, like, you know what I mean. But yeah, okay, so for next year, that's my goal, to be very honest, and to educate even more and more tribe of people and reach a lot more audience, and just be happy and probably a little more healthier than this year, because this year was crazy hectic for me personally, and try to have a proper balance, even more balance, even though I try my best to balance my personal life, my professional life separately. So yes, and honestly, I really don't like planning my year ahead. Like, I know there are certain kind of goals that I have in my mind, but trying to plan an entire year before it happens is just too much pressure, and nothing ever goes the way we plan it. And I think that's the kind of life it is, because the more you plan it, the more you are bad at sticking to it. And instead of having, like, my personal thing is, like, instead of having like a solid goals in my life, I like to, for example, like, instead of saying like I want to earn so and so from selling this much, like, no, I like to phrase it like I like to phrase it like, I want to have a full-fledged Tapsy store with a proper branding, trademark and everything, and collab with a lot more clients and cater to their needs and my needs, and meet like-minded people, and maybe get on board like 2-3 artists with myself who I can train and help them find their voice. So yeah, and I would also love to focus on Indian folk art even more, even though I teach that's my primary subject that I educate my students about. But I think all this while I have just been practicing it on my own and not putting it out there, but I think I want to create my own project and maybe try to spread even more awareness about it and get hands-on with it next year. So I think that's one definite goal that I would have. Maybe not soon, but definitely very, very soon it's gonna happen. So I'm gonna make sure that is done. So yeah, you can expect a lot more collabs happening next year and a lot more new ideas and kind of experimental art that I'm going to be doing, because I am not setting Tapsy as some definite kind of platform. I want to be free with creativity and flowing of emotions, art, ideas, conversation, debates, and whatnot. So it's a very free platform, and I want to give a chance to everyone who brings something knowledgeable and important to our floor. So yes, thank you guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful day and year ahead, and I hope you had a good year. Even if it was not, it's okay. It's a learning curve, and I'm sure you must have gained something from it. And there's a new life ahead coming. There's a new day beginning, clean slate, and you can write the story for your life the way you want to. So yes, don't look back, just keep looking ahead, because there's a lot more to look ahead than look behind. So all the best. I wish you a very, very happy new year, and can't wait to speak to you guys very soon. Take care, don't party too much, and stay safe. Thanks guys, bye.